Alright everyone, Hogan here reporting for the review. So, 2023 has been really good for FGC, with some major titles having a good release or being announced to release either at the end of 2023 or beginning of 2024. It's also the year where the sale of arcade sticks, leverless controllers, and their accessories are rising, and I don't see it will calm down anytime soon. Now, the reason why you're here is probably because you just started playing a fighting game and think arcade stick will make it easier, or you want to upgrade from a lower end arcade stick from random cheap parts that may or may not be hindering your performance during a match. Don't worry, I was in both positions before and there are some truth to that. I must say that in the end, it's still up to your preferences and you will need times to get adjusted to your new preferred controller. Now that's all said. This is the reason why you're here, right? Is the GameSir C2 is still good for 2024 onward? Well, let's have a look at it together. In a glance, the GameSir C2 is your basic full-size multi-platform arcade stick with View-Lix layout. It uses Sanwa Denshi joystick and buttons for their main component, along with its auxiliary buttons and sliders on the top border of the stick. Which those stuff is not really Sanwa, but it has it there. The front side has USB pass-through for the multi-platform function and a compartment which houses the primary cable for the stick, USB-A to micro, USB-A to C, 2 spare buttons if you have any, and the 15 or size 2 hex wrench inside. Unfortunately, mine doesn't come with it since I assume the previous owner lost it, but you should have it if you buy it new. Anyway, the front end side has nothing much going on, with one being completely flat like your favorite VTuber, like me, and angled with cutout to lift it off your play surface respectively. The bottom of the stick has 4 rubber feet for you who love to play on table or floor, and has 7 screws for you to access the inside of the stick. I almost forgot to mention this, but the top plate also has 6 screws that you use the same screws like the bottom one. Anyway, it has pretty neat features like key lock, turbo, and multi-platform compatibility. The key lock is pretty straightforward, which is just locking all the auxiliary buttons on top, and it does not affect the sliders, so you can avoid accidentally hitting those by accident. The turbo is activated by turning on the turbo mode while holding a button, and it will start to rapidly inputting the button you choose instead of holding it down. The multi-platform compatibility is where it gets a little bit complicated. By default, the C2 is detected as Xbox 360 controller or X input, so it's practically plug and play for PC. You can also change it to D input mode by holding down the mode button on the top right corner until the lock button blinks. You can also connect it to Nintendo Switch by plugging it and then change it to D input mode. And remember the USB pass-through I mentioned earlier? That's how you connect it to PS4 and Xbox One, by plugging the respective console controller to it and then do the procedure like before. While this is a really good feature in a pinch, I think it's much more foolproof if you get yourself one of those converters, though that would be an additional cost for you. As for how it feels while using it, it's your typical stock Sanwa parts kind of feel. The stick is really lightweight, or if you don't like it, you call it loose, and pretty easy to move to any direction. The switch on it has tactile feels, but it may not feel tactile enough to some people that you might accidentally steal inputting direction if you're not careful. The stick returns to neutral fast enough without any noticeable bounce back. The Sanwa button, however, feels really nice and smooth to press, but can be loud to some people, so keep that in mind. Comfort-wise, the slightly angled top plate is actually comfortable, and the height sits perfectly for me when I lean forward in my gamer mode, obviously. But remember the 4 rubber feet I mentioned? If you're planning to place it on your lap or thick thigh like I do, you still start to feel uncomfortable after a certain amount of time, and the weight of it certainly does not help that matter. Luckily though, you can just take off the rubber feet and stick a cheap mousepad or thin anti-slip pad underneath as a replacement of it, which also lower the height of it if you play on the table. And another thing specific for PS4 and Xbox One user is the fact that you still have to tether a controller to connect to them, means you'll have something else to worry while playing. Also, I'm not sure because I don't have the Xbox controller currently, but I forgot to mention this. With the latest situation where Microsoft applies something about non-compliant controller, this may not work anymore. So maybe keep that in mind. I haven't tried myself. I hope someone said something about it in the comment. Feel free to do so. I hope so. But yeah. Anyway, back to the script. Customization is quite friendly with both top and bottom plate uses the same screws. You can access almost everything by opening the bottom plate and then lift it up to show the color-coded wiring, buttons, and the joystick. Button will be the easiest one to detach from the cables and then pinch the side clip holder thing to push it out, and the joystick ball top can be undone easily by holding the bottom screw with a flat screwdriver and then twist the ball. The reason why I mentioned that here is because I'm sure most people want to change the artwork to their preferred anime waifu or husbando or whatever really to others, and that's the step you need to take before opening the plexiglass. Otherwise you're going to break the plexiglass if you didn't know that. The only thing that seemingly can't be done, or at least I haven't seen anyone done it, is PCB swap and cable mod or repair, since it's placed right on top of the cable compartment. Maybe you can dismantle it, but I don't know that. If anyone has seen someone did it, please do let me know about it because I want to see it myself as well, just in case I broke something in there. I hope not though. In conclusion, if you're playing on PC, Xbox 360 or Nintendo Switch and maybe even have controller converter already, the GameSir C2 is what to get as your upgrade, since it comes with industry standard parts by Sanwa and has a really solid build to it. But if you're planning to play on something like PS4, PS5 and Xbox Series X or S, if you don't already have converter, nor you got a good deal like I did, you may want to save a little more for something like Hori Fighting Stick Alpha, for example, Kanban Drone 2, or something else that has native console compatibility built in for them from the get-go. Why? Because the price would be not too far off when you start adding the costs, and it may throw you into buyer's regret situation. Anyway, I hope this video has been useful for you who consider getting this arcade stick for themselves. If you like it, feel free to press that like and subscribe button so you don't miss my upload or live stream if you're interested in that, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good one, everyone.